Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my RP guide for GTA Online. Before we start, I have to be the guy for a second and ask you to please like and share the video if you end up finding this useful. A stupid amount of time went into researching the methods and making the video itself, so a like or a share can go a long way. So without further ado, let's begin. In this RP guide, I'll be taking a look at the 3 best ways to rank up in the game so you don't have to do only crates, for example. The road to rank 1000 is a long one, so you might as well have some fun while you're going down that road. Having said that, this RP guide can also be used for newer players as well, especially because the road to rank 120 is much shorter than to rank 1000. This guide will be focused on both newer players and more experienced players, so some things will seem obvious for you as an experienced player. This guide was made by someone who has been playing the game since launch and had help of similar people, so your result will vary as a newer player. Also, in this RP guide, I will not be considering loading times. Let's start off with everyone's favorite, contact missions. Everything in GTA Online is based on time when it comes to rewards. RP is no exception of that. Fortunately, contact missions are the only thing affected by this in this guide. But obviously, the longer you take, the worse your time versus RP will be. Contact missions will require you to have a few things. Your aim preference set to free aim for a 25% RP bonus, a friend for an additional 10% RP bonus, and a crew member for another 20% RP bonus. Obviously, having someone who is both a friend and a crew member will mean that you get both bonuses at the same time. Alongside of that, an armored crewman will be extremely useful for these missions. This vehicle is nearly bulletproof and will make your life a lot easier, especially if you're not familiar with free aim. The armored crewman can be picked up from Southern San Andreas Super Autos for $698,250 or $525,000 if you complete the Fleeca job heist. Another handy vehicle you could buy is the Buzzard attack helicopter. The Buzzard is overall the most useful helicopter in the game and definitely a very worthwhile investment if you want to rank up quickly or even save yourself a bunch of time making money. However, it does come in at a whopping $1.75 million. Right, time for the method and how much it pays out. What I've done is I went through 16 missions with the best RP versus time, and I went through them 3 times. This resulted into an average of about 3500 RP in 5 minutes. The interesting thing about contact missions is that they all pay out roughly the same amount when it comes to time versus RP. Typically, you take about 4 to 5 minutes to get 3500 RP. Obviously, the longer you take in the mission, the more RP you will get. But don't think it's smarter to take longer to do these missions, because if you were to do the parking garage twice versus doing stick up the stick up crew once, you would earn more RP with doing the parking garage twice in a time versus RP perspective. Do keep this in mind when playing contact missions, because if you see more RP on your screen, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're ranking up quicker. In the description below, I've provided a playlist of the 16 missions that I used in this guide. It's a nice mix of missions, but if you want to create your own playlist, here's how you can do so. First, you need to play the mission you want to add to your playlist. You can do this by simply starting the mission and then quitting again. Then you want to create a playlist and go to add recently played jobs. From there, you can add the mission you wish to have in your playlist. The missions I use for the RP guide are the following: Sinking Feeling, Chopper Tail, Diamonds Are for Trevor, Rooftop Rumble, Judging the Jury, Wet Workers, The Parking Garage, Stick Up the Stick Up Crew, Trash Talk, The Los Santos Connection, Chop Chop, Stocks and Scares, Cleaning the Cat House, Method in Madness, and Satellite Communications. Doing this playlist will give you around 42,000 RP an hour. The best part about this method is that there will be very little loading times because you're using a playlist and you don't have to go back to free mode to start a new mission or select a mission from the voting screen. Moving on to races. Races are also a great way of ranking up, especially when there is double RP for it, because it actually is triple RP. First and most important, I have to teach you how you can host your own lobby. Especially as a newer player, this is extremely useful because you more than likely don't own the newest and fastest cars. If you want to know, by the way, which ones are the fastest, then check out my buddy Bruffrey1322. He spends his life testing every single vehicle in the game, and no, he's not stuck in his basement, I think. To host your own lobby, you want to do the following: go to Online, Options, Matchmaking, and set that to Closed. Then you want to go to Online, Jobs, Play Jobs, and then select the race you want to play. Stunt races are the most popular with lower ranked players, so if you're looking for an easy win, that would be your best shot. When you're in the lobby, don't forget to turn off close matchmaking or people won't be able to join your session. You can do this after you confirm your settings. Speaking of settings, make sure to adjust it to your own wishes. Non-contact is recommended in public lobbies because people like to pretend that GTA Online races are an extension of the Glory Hole theme park from GTA San Andreas. And of course, if you don't own any custom cars, then make sure to turn custom vehicles off. Let's start off with the regular RP payout. There are 4 different race types in GTA Online. Regular races, land, sea and air, stunt races, transform races and hot ring races. All these races have the same payout in both RP and in money. The most effective way to earn RP in races is by setting the amount of laps to the equivalent of 4 minutes. You can find this out by simply checking the leaderboard by pressing R1 on PlayStation, RB on Xbox, or Tab on PC. If you do so, you'll be able to earn 5000 RP in about 6 minutes. I'm using 6 minutes here because I take into account the race having to actually start and you having to wait for the players to finish the race. A nice thing about races is that you can also become second or third in some cases. Now this RP guide wouldn't be complete if I didn't have the information as well. It breaks down to the following. From 15 players onwards, first, second and third place will receive 5000 RP. From 11 to 14 players, first and second will receive 5000 RP. 10 players and below will result into the winning player being the only one receiving 5000 RP. Keep in mind that going over 4 minutes will only result into a higher cash payout and not a higher RP payout. Doing races with regular RP will result around 50,000 RP an hour. Do keep in mind this is based on being able to start the race right away. Realistically, the RP an hour will likely be 40 to 45,000 RP. Now let's have a look at double RP races. You might think that covering double RP related stuff makes no sense, but hear me out. Double RP in races happen quite regularly, and during double RP in races you actually get triple RP, resulting into 16,000 RP if you win the race. Unlike regular RP, you have to finish the race in first place in order to get 16,000 RP. So let's break it down. In order to get 16,000 RP for winning, you need to have at least 12 players in your lobby when the race is finished. However, with 11 players you still get 50,180 RP, so the difference is not too big. Another great thing about double RP in races is that becoming second or third isn't a big deal if you stay above 11 players. Coming second place will earn you at least 10,000 RP and third will net you at least 7,500. Do try to shoot for having 16 players in your lobby though, because the chances of people leaving in the middle of the race is very likely. Again, the payouts are based on the amount of players that are in the lobby when the race is finished, not when you started the race. Doing races with double RP will result into getting 160,000 RP an hour. Again, do keep in mind that this is based on being able to start the race right away, so realistically the RP an hour will likely be around 128 to 144,000 RP. Now let's talk about crates, better known as special cargo. This is widely seen as the best way to rank up. There are some disadvantages to crates though, and these are: they're expensive to do. You need a CEO office, 5 warehouses, and a buzzer to do this effectively. You have to do it in free roam with all the chaos that come with it. Of course, finding an empty solo session is pretty easy, but they can fill up pretty quick if you don't pay attention. You won't be earning as much as you would do with the other methods. In a regular race, you would earn $37,000 if you win, and contact missions mostly pay $10,000 to $15,000 a mission. Crates can get extremely boring because all you're doing is going back and forth, and you will literally have to do this hundreds if not thousands of times. The advantages to doing crates is a set and stable amount of RP you get no matter how long you take. So doing it as fast as possible will only be an advantage, and it doesn't actually take that much skill to do this method, mostly because you don't actually have to shoot anyone. With missions and races you need to kind of know what you're doing and be somewhat good with either a gun or a vehicle to get the maximum amount of RP out of it. However, the main point of this RP guide was, and still is, to show you that crates aren't the only way to get your desired rank in GTA Online. So without further ado, let's dive into the stats. The way crates work is the following. First of all, you purchase a CEO office, then you purchase 5 smaller cargo warehouses, and also a buzzard. Once you've done that, a smart idea would be to upgrade your delivery vehicles. This will save your ass if some pesky freedom warriors tries to ruin your day. It will cost you about 1.5 million, but it will be worth your money. With your bank account empty, just go ahead and start a source mission in your office. Select the warehouse you want to source a crate for and select one crate. It doesn't matter if you do 1, 2 or 3 crates, the RP will be the same. 2100 to 2500 RP per source mission. In the interest of time, I will not be going over every single mission type because generally there are 3 types of missions. Either you pick a vehicle, grab a crate, or kill something and get a crate after. Not difficult, especially if you have a buzzard, which you can by the way spawn from your CEO menu like shown on screen. When you're done sourcing your crate, what you want to do is immediately sell the crate you just sourced. Again, 1, 2 or 3 crates will give the same amount of RP, 5100 to 5500 RP per sell mission. In sell missions there are 3 delivery vehicles, 90% of the time just involving it getting into the vehicle and going to the delivery point. Easy as 1, 2, 3 crates. Yes, that's a crate pun, deal with it. Once this is done, you go back to your office and repeat the previous steps. Rise and repeat until you reach your desired rank. For crates, I took an average of RP and time for 25 runs of source and sell. I also added an additional 2 minutes for people to get back to their office, which seemed to be the most fair thing to me. Especially because if you're doing a sell mission with the Cuban, you'll be all the way down in Blaine County and it's going to take you a little while to get back. Doing crates will earn you an average of 7700 RP in about 10 minutes. Resulting into 46,000 RP an hour. And if you're like me and wondered if one crate with 2 people will be faster, then the answer would be yes and no. The only advantage to it is that when the CEO starts a source or sell mission, the associate will be closer to the location of the mission, but typically this doesn't happen. The main advantage is that you can start the next source mission quicker because you can let the associate do the sell mission while you make your way back to your CEO office. So in conclusion, I hope that this RP guide has showed you that crates aren't the only good way of ranking up and that mixing it up with some races or contact missions will be very beneficial for your mental well-being. Variety is the spice of life and now you have the options to do so. I want to thank everyone that helped me make this guide possible, whether you watch me live on Twitch, link in the description, or were actively playing along in the sessions leading up to this guide. Your help has made this guide possible. So thank you all for your continued help and support. With all that said and done, please consider giving this video a like and sharing it with your friends if you found this guide helpful. Thank you also very much for watching, subscribe for more, and I'll see you all later.